Spitsbergen. Tomorrow we head to the North Pole to run the North Pole Marathon. And believe you me, it isn't a road marathon. I can guarantee you, whatever you think now.
The competitors for the 2010 marathon are just getting their flight details, and they're going to take off in the next 15-20 minutes. Everything is good, flights are all on time, so it's a good start to the day.
Here at Camp Barneo, which is a Russian camp at the geographic North Pole, and the 2010 North Pole Marathon is due to take place, and at the moment I have to mark the course. It's going to be a multi-circuit course, probably 9 or 10 laps of between 4 and 5k until they run 42.2k total. So my first port of call really when I get up here is to actually measure a course, and one that's challenging but runnable. But every year the North Pole is different and the terrain is different, so I'm not sure what this course will be like yet. This is the start point. We're going to actually just go down, straight down the runway and use as much as possible. You keep everything on your left, so when you see the flags everywhere, and you can stray within 10 metres away from them because they're positioned where I could actually stick them. In some places it was hard to put them in. So I'm going to kind of measure the shortest possible route, sticking within 10 metres. So that's it. Give it a go. What makes this marathon, I suppose, particularly unusual is, well, first of all, it's run at the North Pole. But what that means is that it's actually run on an ocean. There is no land at the North Pole, so we're literally running on frozen ice on top of the sea. I think there's something like 14,000 foot of ocean underneath us, and just a few metres separating us from that ocean. There are different challenges every year. Sometimes it's just the terrain. At the moment, the temperature is quite mild. Relatively, I mean it's under -20, but it's just very windy. I think that's going to be the biggest issue in this year's race.
Well, it looks like a summer day in Canada, so it's not too bad. I was expecting it to be even colder, so it's I don't think it's going to be much trouble. There's a lot of wind and not very good visibility, but one step at a time we'll get our way around. Should be no problem.
I'm doing the race for 3 reasons. First of all, for my own thrills, do something a bit crazy and get out and go and do something different. Secondly, to try and show people that, you know, only be limited in terms of if you're blind or partially sighted, only be limited by what you're limited yourself to, not what other people limit you to. And thirdly, I'm trying to raise money for a brilliant charity called St Dunstan's, which is a services blind charity which supports blinded ex-servicemen and women after they lose their sight. So they're a wonderful charity, and Alex works for them as well. So
I'm guiding Jamie around the course. Hope he doesn't fall down any holes, and hopefully adds a bit of motivation, and just generally enjoying the experience.
Now it's pretty cold and the temperatures are fluctuating a lot, so you know, I think it's hard to really compare it to any other experience, but again, I think, you know, ask me in a few hours' time and I'll probably have quite a different view on it when I finish, hopefully.
Even if I walk it, I'm looking forward to it. It's just one of those life experiences that not many people get to do. So it's, yeah, I can't wait to get started.
You will come right back to the tent
and then you come back out through the banner and onto the course on each lap. Okay, so you'll run to the tent. That's it. The best of luck to everybody. Let's get it underway.
Thanks, Richard.
Okay. Ready?
Woo! Yeah!
Time now, it's 4 o'clock Norwegian time, and the race is underway finally. Visibility isn't great. Well, I mean, there's a strong wind blowing, and my concerns now are just to make sure that they can get around on the first lap, that they can actually see all the markers on the course. Once they do it once, I know everything's okay. I went around myself just before the race started on a snowmobile, and I can see everything. Hopefully no one will go amiss. There are 25 competitors in the race. I think a few of them are going quite quick, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of time comes out of this. There was 2 short laps to start this race and then 11 large ones. The large laps are 3 3/4 kilometers, so they have 11 of them to do. Come on, guys. There are snow drifts out in the course because it did snow overnight. And so that will make it tough in spots. Other places, obviously, there's the runways incorporated into it. The leaders have now done, they're on their 7th lap of 11. So they're a good way through the race now. Although they have flags to guide them along the route, it's quite hard to see them with the current kind of whiteout conditions. They come back near the tents as they are now, but otherwise they're out on their own out there on the course in the wilderness where there's snow drifts and they can't even see the camp.
My muscle have a little skin, and my body have a loose temperature, so it's freezing cold to me.
How are we doing? We're doing good. Jamie's alright.
Yeah,
We're just gonna have a little snack.
Need a little snack now.
Yeah. See you in a bit.
It's a difficult time now for a lot of them because they're on their 5th lap, they're halfway there, there's still quite a way to go, so there is definitely mental fatigue at least, in addition to any physical stuff they're suffering.
It's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. I've only done 3 or 4 laps and it's terrible.
One of the toughest things I've done, but I'm hanging in there. It seems like the miles will never quite complete, but I'm pressing on. I'm not stopping until I get to 26.2. Running for scholarships, that's my motto. Plan to finish. Thanks.
It's difficult going into the wind, and I know people are getting a little bit disoriented because of all the white everywhere. People are holding up pretty well considering you know, the wind, and I'm quite happy with everybody. I don't see anybody who's in need of assistance.
This wind isn't funny anymore.
Alright, stop. 5 more to go.
It's kind of windy, so I decided to get some gloves because I started to get a little bit cold because I'm walking a lot. It's pretty hard to run except for down the runway. I'm from San Diego, and I'm here to run the marathon because I want to. And my dad's out there somewhere too.
Yes!
I won the race in 5 hours and 58 seconds. I'm very glad with that. I didn't expect to win, but just did my best and it seemed to be enough, so happy with that.
It was hard, it was a difficult race. I managed a second place, about 7-8 minutes behind the leader. I think the biggest problem for me in the race was the headwind. They say it was probably about 25-30 miles an hour headwind, so you know, in the context, then you know, we basically ran half our distance into a 30 mile an hour headwind, which wasn't the easiest of things to do. But all in all, it was, you know, a fantastic experience, and you know, not something I'd probably care to repeat in the near future.
Thank God that's over. Come here.
But you know, never say never. Might be something else in the future lined up.
Final lap, maybe I sweat more and run fast, so I lose my temperature in my body. So a little pain in my hand, something wrong. I don't know. I can run on the street. If I run fast, I will lose temperature very quickly. If I run slowly, I will feel cold.
My name's Emer Dooley. I'm from Limerick in Ireland. I live in Seattle in the United States right now. And I came to do this marathon at the North Pole because Richard Donovan, this crazy Irish guy, had this idea. And he's been running it for a couple of years, and it's something I've always wanted to do.
Buggered, absolutely buggered.
Yeah, he chipped it out. We were struggling on the, you know, after lap 5, but he just dug deep. You know, plenty of sugary tea.
It is a very hard course, but
yeah, it was hard on that.
It is so nice to get home. It really is. Brilliant.
I think it was more than a marathon. It was a new experience. It was my first marathon. I had a half before, and right now I feel I can accomplish anything after this one. I think all the marathons will look like a joke, like a 3-mile event after this one. And reaching North Pole was one of my dreams since I was reading Jules Verne this long time ago, 30 years ago. So thank you for making it possible.
I came up here because I thought it would be challenging, but it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. The race was tough, you know, but finishing it was a great feeling of accomplishment. It's pretty surreal, you know. It certainly makes you think. And a lot of camaraderie, you know, there's great people up here. All the people, you know, it's funny what happens, we all meet each other initially and everyone's kind of distant and cold. And you go through an experience like that together and we all feel like brothers and sisters, you know, we've really united and we're laughing, belly laughing with each other and sharing stories and sharing cultures. You know, there's Polish guys here, there's Spanish people, there's Canadians, Americans, Brits, Irishmen, you know, it's the whole world has come here, you know, and it's all one, you know, we all just feel like one. And so I feel very privileged that I've experienced this.